the intelligence community's annual worldwide threat assessment, taking not only the extraction but the processing of rare earth metals that are so critical in so many of us don't know, and around the world. The People's Republic of China, the island on the scale. We still have unfinished business regarding the class.
Standing ambitions for regional leadership and is a threat to U.S. persons directly and via proxy attacks. Iran also remains a threat to Israel. And how they're managing it, but also the laws that they pass that give them the capability, for example, in
which is understand that the difference between an ostensibly private company and the CCP,
basically without a real plan to lease or intent to attack the West.
Terrorist organization, a group must be engaged in premeditated, politically motivated violence against non-combatants.
Many of those governments and many of our security service partners to resist that. We work with French, with other countries.
Well, climate change remains an urgent threat that will increasingly exacerbate risks to Ukraine and wants to prevent Western support from tipping the balance and forcing a conflict. These are being developed and proliferating faster than companies and governments are able to shape norms governing their use.
Documents and make a determination if you think there actually is national security risk.
Sure that healthcare is being met and healthcare needs, and that each of these service members and personnel are treated appropriately, humanely from that perspective. But I find it
Same with there. How close is Iran right now, and what are those nuclear emissions? Are they peaceful?
You highlight the challenge of supply chains, and we know supply chains well, even from a different.
Increasingly, I believe, I think the vast majority of us on this.
She has surrounded himself with like-minded loyalists at the apex of the party's standing committee, China's highest decision-making body, and we assess that during the course of Xi's third term, they will together attempt to press Taiwan on unification, undercut U.S. influence, which they perceive as a threat, and drive wedges between Washington and its allies and partners, and promote certain norms that favor China's authoritarian system. And you may have right. There's a broad consensus in the intelligence community that the outbreak is not the result of a bioweapon or genetic engineering. What there isn't a consensus on is whether or not it's a lab leak, essentially as Director Wray indicated, or natural exposure to an infected animal. Those are the two operating sort of theories. And yeah, we do see them providing assistance to Russia in the context of the conflict. And we see them in a situation in which they become increasingly uncomfortable about the level of assistance and not looking to do it as publicly as might otherwise occur, and given the reputational costs associated with it. But I think that is a blast. The Russians are making incremental progress on Bakhmut, which is not a particularly strategic objective, but are otherwise facing considerable constraints, including personnel and ammunition shortages, dysfunction within the military's leadership, exhaustion, as well as morale challenges. And even as the Russian offensive continues, they are experiencing high casualty rates. Putin is likely better understanding the limits of what his military is capable of achieving and appears to be focused on more modest military objectives for now.
Our assessment is that the Wagner Group is a vicious, aggressive organization which has posed a threat not just to the people of Ukraine, and we see that every day, especially in the intense fighting that's gone around the city of Bakhmut right now, largely conducted on the Russian side by the Wagner Group, which is suffering incredible casualties. But I've also seen it, as we were discussing earlier, in my own travels in West Africa and in the Sahel, where I